Hey there, hi there, ho there. It's Jeff, Cutter Historical Diamond. Yet another top 5 things characters should or should not have done in the grassy timing shooting timeline. This one is the five things that other characters should have done or not done in this. So basically, we don't count Raditch, we don't count Spinner, Jay, and Alex, and we don't count Emma, who will be the final one of this series. So basically, it's 5 characters who've had the 5 things they should or should not have done. Number, well, it's in no order. Jimmy, and the way he was bullying Rick. He should not have bullied Rick. Now, I can understand Jimmy being part of the clique with Paige and all them, trying to get revenge for what he did to Terry, and that's fine and all that. But I mean, well, Jimmy should not have bullied Rick to the point, especially with putting the chapeau in the dumpster, dumping him in the dumpster, because I got Rick to do the spray paint in the circle with the X on it. And then, of course, Jimmy got lucky being on the Wacky Brain team because of Hannah Sinclair's mono. But Jimmy did turn around. Rick did tell basically Jimmy that it's either Rick's going to get punished for it or Toby. Now they got a new target for what Rick did and all that. But Jimmy turned sides. Now, a lot of people probably say he should not have gotten in Spinner and Jay's face because that's just going to make Spinner and Jay probably do the prank and to basically hurt Jimmy as well as Rick. But I mean, Jimmy did the right thing. You can't blame him. Number 2 is Paige bringing Emma into the weapons of seat. Paige and her clique, like with Marco, Alex, Spinner, and Jay, didn't want Rick back in the school because of what he did with the DV, domestic violence, on Terry. Fair enough. Paige probably thought that the school administration wasn't going to do a damn thing about it. So she decided to put Emma into it because Emma was known as the cause girl and all that. Now, of course, you could have said, well, Emma, that's a smart thing. But I think Paige and her clique probably would have done a good enough job without Emma around. I mean, they knew Emma was the voice of reason and all that. But unfortunately, it brought Emma to the point that it made Emma realize that there's 2 points to every protest, the positive and the negative side. And when, the trouble with the domestic violence cause ruined it, Emma did the right thing. Paige was upset that Emma would turn tail, but Emma is cause girl for a reason. Unfortunately, Paige was upset because with Emma turning sides, they didn't have a cause and all that. I don't know. I just don't know what I'm talking about. Next is the staff about taking Rick seriously. It's fair to say that those people who were hurting Rick were going unpunished, basically. And only one time we saw the staff members snap at a student for hurting Rick. Like after the Orange Ribbon campaign. I mean, before the Orange Ribbon campaign, Emma trips Rick and Raditch is upset with that. Fair enough. But Miss Kwan punishes Spinner for trying to hurt Rick and all that. It's safe to say that Rick should have gotten more support from the staff members who've seen this and basically try to tell the students, you're not helping things. Rick is going to stay at this school no matter what. And they should have did something. Now, I know it's a two-way street, and the fact of the matter is that Raditch basically may have slipped up with the staff and all that, and that could have been. And the staff members probably didn't feel that Raditch was taking Rick seriously enough. That's why they basically weren't too upset when Raditch got the boot. But I think the staff members should have nipped things in the bud, and the students would never have done something stupid like that. And that leads us to the students. The fourth thing is the students should never have had the mob mentality to destroy Rick in the first place. Now, fair enough. I can understand that the students were upset because they thought that Raditch and the administration was turning a blind eye to Terry's injury and Rick and putting Rick back at Degrassi. I mean, yeah, Rick should have went to another school and all that. That would have been the easiest solution, but Rick never made it easy on himself. And I think after rumors were circulating that Raditch refused to listen to Spinner and Alex's, not Spinner and Alex, sorry, Markle and Alex's concerns about domestic violence and all that stuff, that the students thought that, well, they're gonna protect Rick. We're gonna have to do everything ourselves and tell Rick to leave our school. So that's what they did. They did their mom mentality with the Orange Ribbon campaign. They You can't blame Emma for the Orange Ribbon campaign because Emma thought that it was going to be one way, but then it went the other way. Basically, they took it as a sign to destroy Rick once and for all. I mean, it pisses me off that the students didn't really feel guilty about it. They, I mean, who knows what would have happened if there was an investigation into the school? The students probably would have all been suspended or put in detention or do some kind of anti-bullying campaign stuff. I think that's what should have happened to them. I mean, the guilt they felt over Rick having a gun and all that is bad enough, but I mean, the students' mentality was just pure bullshit, if you ask me. And finally, number 5 is Rick's parents and the support system. They should have had a better support system. Now, rightfully so, when Rick, bludgeons Terry and puts her in a coma, um, Mrs. Murray Rick takes Rick out of school because she knows that the students are going to go after him for what Rick had done. And I mean, the support system would have also been like make sure that he was well enough to have the treatment that he needed, like go to counseling and all that crap. We don't see Rick's dad because he's a traveling salesman. And that's the problem. Because it would have been nice to see what Rick's dad had to feel with it. Rick's mom, unfortunately, had to be the glue that stuck the family together, as Not a Vampire said. Basically, she believed Rick and all that. And yeah, Rick should have basically been honest with her about it. And he should have said, well, I will tell you, but I'm afraid of getting in trouble. And I don't want you getting involved. She did tell Rick that she wanted him to move schools, as evidenced in Time Stands Still Part 1. And all that. And Rick says, you worry too much. So basically, she believed Rick's BS. Like, Rick should have been honest with her. I'm sure she would have done something without having to tip her hand. And that the students probably would have made Rick learn snitches get stitches, excuse me, if you will. But I mean, Rick's dad wasn't there for him. And the worst part is that like Rick knew there was a handgun in the desk of his father. And the problem with the parents is they should have put their firearms really under lock and key, but Rick easily got to it. The problem with Rick's parents is that, the mom was blissfully ignorant. She was still blissfully ignorant, if you will, at Rick's visitation in Black and Black. Basically, she doesn't ask a lot of questions. I know she probably has to her and her husband have to deal with the fact, why did her son become a school shooter? What's happened? I wouldn't be surprised if she basically tried to get the school, like sue the school or put some kind of kibosh on Raditch. But I think she would not have won because the school board probably would have argued, saying, yeah, but at least they didn't bring a gun to the school. And obviously, with your firearms being unlocked and in easy sighting for somebody, then there's trouble. And I know Rick's parents basically had to deal with the consequences of being shunned. So that's all for this video. There'll be one more 5 things, I promise you.